Today I'm going to show you an action thriller film titled The November Man. Be ready for spoilers ahead. The story kicks off with a veteran CIA officer, Peter Devereaux, who retired from the agency in 2008 after his partner and protege, David Mason, disobeyed Devereaux's instructions not to fire on the assassin and accidentally killed a child during a mission to protect a U.S. ambassador in Montenegro. Now, Devereaux has retired to Switzerland and established a coffee shop. Devereaux's former boss, John Hanley, seeks him out and recruits him to extract a deep-cover CIA operative from Russia, Natalia Alanova. Alanova has been posing as the aide of presidential candidate and former Russian Army General Arkady Fedorov, and she knows the name of a witness who can tie Fedorov to war crimes. Hanley says Natalia will not turn over the name unless she is brought in and wants Peter's help getting out of Russia. Hanley also tells Peter that Fedorov's personal assassin, Alexa, has been assigned to murder all of Fedorov's former associates who have knowledge of his past crimes. Devereaux is unaware that CIA Station Chief Perry Weinstein has also dispatched Mason's team to extract Natalia. Mason's team is likewise unaware of Hanley's actions. Natalia manages to break into Fedorov's personal safe and copy several photos depicting a disheveled young girl and a younger Fedorov. Natalia manages to escape and contacts Mason's team to ready her for extraction. However, Fedorov notices that his personal key is still in the safe and alerts the FSB, who chase Natalia through the streets of Moscow until Peter arrives and rescues her. Natalia, though surprised to see Peter, gives him a name, Mira Filipova, which Peter relays to Hanley. Mason's team doesn't realize that Devereaux has Natalia and thinks she may have been captured by the Russians. Weinstein gives the order to kill Natalia, despite Hanley's objections. Mason takes no time and fatally shoots Natalia with a sniper rifle. At this crucial moment, Natalia hands Peter the cell phone containing the incriminating photos before she dies. Peter notices the CIA drone that had been following his car heading towards the parking garage where Mason fired from. He angrily goes to the garage and quickly kills all of Mason's CIA team until he runs into Mason at gunpoint. Stunned, Mason and Devereaux walk away from each other without saying a thing, and David explodes the van. Peter grabs a cab and goes through the photos on the phone Natalie gave him, removing the memory card before getting rid of the phone. While Hanley is searching through files on Mila Filipova, a name Peter gave him, a CIA strike team unexpectedly breaks into his home. Reacting swiftly, he shoots the computer to prevent them from accessing the information, but a CIA strike team subdues him. Back at his apartment, David notices the neighbor's pet inside his house and takes it back. She invites him in since she's American too, but a private call prevents him from entering. Meanwhile, New York Times reporter Edgar Simpson tracks down refugee caseworker Alice Fournier, requesting her assistance to write an exposé of Fedorov and his alleged war crimes during the Second Chechen War. Alice is hesitant and warns him that it could be dangerous, as she wouldn't like to be involved in politics. Nevertheless, she resolved to meet him later that evening at the restaurant. At Belgrade International Airport, Alexa has arrived and checks in at a hotel where she sets her weapons. On the other hand, Weinstein relentlessly scrutinizes David, questioning why he didn't shoot Peter after witnessing him eliminate his fellow agents. David responds that he was disoriented. However, the answer is not satisfying because Peter didn't shoot David either. He debriefs Mason on his encounter with his former mentor and shows him pictures of Devereaux and Natalia in a relationship, even though Devereaux told Mason in the past that spies should not have relationships because significant others can be used as leverage against each other. Langley has ordered Devereaux killed, as not stopping him would mean more field agents would be killed out of revenge. The assassin Alexa meets her contact hacker, who notifies her that Alice will meet Edgar in a restaurant. Peter also arrives in Belgrade and knocks out the CIA strike team that secured Hanley's apartment. Peter discovers that Alice is Mila's contact and impersonates the CIA strike team to manipulate them into tracking Alice's phone. Peter manages to rescue Alice from the assassin and Mason's CIA team. Alice says that Mila pretended to be mute around Fedorov, who had sexually abused her during the Second Chechen War. Mila is able to understand Russian since her parents are university professors and overheard every single conversation Fedorov had, including plans for a false flag conspiracy to bomb a building held by the Russian army to justify the Second Chechen War and the seizure of Chechen oil fields. When Peter confronts Denisov, one of Fedorov's former associates, he confirms the conspiracy and says the CIA actively helped Fedorov to blow up the buildings. Weinstein gives Mason additional motivation to kill Devereaux by showing Mason how Devereaux disparaged Mason's performance in reviews, recommending he be fired due to his impulsiveness. Mason decides to go on a date with his next-door neighbor and ends up sleeping with her. Unbeknownst to him, Devereaux and Alice have broken into the apartment across the street and are observing their departure and arrival. Devereaux sends off Alice with cash and disposable cell phones before breaking into Mason's apartment. Devereaux holds the woman hostage and tests Mason's character by cutting her femoral artery before fleeing. Mason chooses to save his girlfriend, buying her time until an ambulance arrives. Fedorov arrives in Belgrade for an energy conference, where he meets Alexa. Later, Alexa kills Edgar at his home when Alice tries to meet with him, but Alice manages to escape. Peter infiltrates the CIA black site where Hanley is being held and confronts him about the CIA's involvement with Fedorov in Chechnya. Hanley claims Weinstein aided Fedorov. Additionally, he states that Mila's parents were university professors that taught her to speak Russian, revealing that Alice Fournier is actually Mila Filipova. Mason later realizes that the real Alice Fournier died years ago, and Mila took her identity since then. Alice disguises herself as a night shift worker and goes to Fedorov's hotel to try and kill him, as he murdered both of her parents before abducting and abusing her. Peter manages to track her down, kills Fedorov's security, and plays Russian roulette with Fedorov on camera to make him give the name of the CIA agent who conspired with him. Fedorov states it was Hanley, which Alice confirms after seeing him in a photo. Peter and Alice manage to escape the hotel, but not before Peter eliminates more members of Mason's CIA team, knocks Mason unconscious, and provides him with a recorded confession before departing. However, when Mason and fellow operative Celia try to confront Weinstein with the evidence against Hanley, they find Hanley has replaced Weinstein. Langley has decided that Fedorov is worth keeping around despite his war crimes and is allowing Hanley to run the show. Thinking his mission is over, Peter tells Alice to disappear before trying to call his daughter Lucy. However, Peter finds out that Hanley has ordered Mason to kidnap Lucy. Alice offers to give herself up for Lucy, but Peter convinces her to go to a train station and wait for him there. Peter meets with Hanley and Mason's men, providing Mason with a fictitious bus station address, sending them on a wild goose chase. David, however, has learned that Hanley is corrupt, so he jams the seat belt on his man, then runs into the wall, instantly killing him. David has changed his mind and proceeds to rescue Lucy. After booking the tickets, Mila sits at a computer terminal and emails the editor of the New York Times with her story of Fedorov's war crimes, co-crediting Edgar with the story. Though Alexa manages to track her computer terminal, Alice manages to knock Alexa out with a large shovel after a brief chase. When Mila picks up Alexa's compressed gun, she realizes Alexa is no longer a threat, and then she moves back to finish her ordeal. Hanley then reveals his true motives for his involvement in the apartment bombings. Hanley tells Peter that once Fedorov has won the presidential elections, he intends to blackmail the Russian president with his involvement in the false flag attacks and force him into making Russia join NATO. This would not only effectively eliminate any competition to US hegemony in the Western Hemisphere but also unite the West and the former Eastern Bloc for what Hanley believes is the next up-and-coming war with the Middle East. Meanwhile, Mason traces the phone call from Lucy and her kidnappers, and David quickly kills the kidnappers and rescues Lucy. David returns to Hanley and shoots his men, giving Peter a chance to hold Hanley at gunpoint. However, he decides to spare him. Peter thanks his former protege and escapes with his daughter to the train station where Alice is waiting for them. Later, Alice testifies at the International Criminal Court about Fedorov's war crimes and conspiracy with Hanley, sinking Fedorov's campaign and presidential ambitions for good. Later, a mysterious sniper shoots Kadyrov in the head as he relaxes on his yacht. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.